Alright guys, we're going to finish lesson number 16 and do lesson 17 real quick in about 5-10 minutes, and then give you the assignment, and that'll be it for Tuesday. We started 16 already. We did problems similar to this one. Remember, just distribute every possible thing. So if you have 3 things times 2 things, it's going to give you 6 all together, and then you just combine the like terms down to get an answer. For division, it's going to be very similar to long division, as they point out here. The key is, if you remember, if there was any remainder, you would take that remainder and move it to the top and make a little fraction out of it. So like 12 went into 49 4 times with 1 left over, so it made 4 and 1/12. Same thing here, except a couple things you have to be careful of. Just make sure, remember, in this step you are subtracting. This is kind of a key thing. Now you got to subtract that 48. Same thing down here. When we're doing polynomials, we have to figure out, okay, what do I multiply this by to get this? Well, there's already an x, but I'm going to need x squared to get from x up to x to the third. I'm missing 2. And then this doesn't have a number in front of it, so I'm going to need the 5 as well. So then I distribute this to be 5x squared times that gives me that, and 5x squared times 4, 5 times 4 give me 20x squared. Now, and then of course it's minus, because 5 times minus 4 would be minus 20. The key here is that we are going to, again, subtract this whole thing, not a part of it. Okay, this whole thing. So I often put parentheses to remind myself I'm going to subtract the 5, because 5 minus 5 is 0. That's gone. That was the whole point. But here it's negative 2 and then minus negative. So this is going to be like a plus 20. And 20 minus 2 is 18. That's where this comes from. Just like long division, bring that down. Now we're trying to figure out, okay, how do I get x to become 18x squared? Well, I need the 18. And to get from x to x squared, I'm going to need another x. So that's where this 18x comes from. I distribute that times, or through, 18x times x is 18x squared. 18x times negative 4 is negative 72. Remember, again, the key here now is we are going to subtract the whole thing, not just a part of it. So 18 minus 18 is 0. That's the whole point, is to get rid of that. But 5 minus negative 72, it's going to work like a plus. 5 plus 72 is 77. Bring down my last plus 2. And then this 77 is there because to get from x to 77x, I would need a 77. I already have the x. So 77 times x gives me 77x. 77 times negative 4 gives me negative 308. And of course, we're going to subtract this thing. So again, 2 negatives work like a plus. 2 plus 308 is 310. That's my remainder, and the big difference is that that remainder fraction is added. We have to remember that that's a plus. Same thing with 4.5. There's an imaginary plus there too. Okay, but we can put it together. Here we can't scrunch it together, so we have to put a plus sign. Okay? Same thing here down that example. This one's just showing that if you have an x to the third and no x to the second, you need to mark that in there, because in long division we need to be able to bring something down here to hold that x place value and the x squared place value to get that answer. Okay? So we can go over questions if you have any on long division. You're going to do all the questions from this page. 17 will be a good quick one to go over because it involves, as it says, subscript variables. All that means is if there's a word problem where you want to use the same letter twice, you can use a subscript, meaning a little bitty one, off to the lower right corner. So this letter N can be used twice, but to represent different things. So this is actually, in this problem, number is N, and nickels is the little n, and dimes would be the little d. And you have some equations set up. Okay? So this problem would have been the one I went over. A word problem would have been, first off, hopefully you've seen the dirt equation before, meaning distance equals rate times time, is what we're going to see right here. Basically, if you're going miles per hour times the number of hours, you figure out how far you can go. So in this problem, we have a distance, rate times time, plus another distance, and that gives us our total distance. So we have a motorcycle and walking. We combined and went that far. The motorcycle rate for R was 40, so it's going 40 miles per hour. Wait a minute. The RW, I imagine, is the rate for walking. There's a fast walker. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but apparently this guy's walking super fast. And then we did a total of 5 hours. So to solve this problem, we are just going to use some substitution. Take 40, plug it in for the rate. Take 60, plug it in for the rate. And so now it looks like that. Okay? And then we have our second equation. So we have two equations. They did substitution here just to show you. On the notes here, there's my son's writing on my notes. Perfect, right? I went ahead and did it the easier way, I think, which is using combinations. So I multiplied the second equation right here by negative 40 so that this would cancel out. So negative 40 Tm, negative 40 Tw equal to negative 200, because of course the 5 has to get multiplied as well. That way this column cancels out. 60 minus 40 is 20. 260 minus 200 is 60. Divide by 20, you get 3 hours of walking, 3 hours of motorcycle. So there's that. And then finally, angle relationships. Remember, any two angles next to each other split. Okay, a straight line is 180, split in two. These two angles right here have to add to 180. So that's going to be one equation, is dealing with that. So that plus 50 equals 180, or in this case, you can make it into that. 180 minus 50 is 130, and then you have an equation. And then here, we know that anytime we have parallel lines, corresponding angles are going to be the same. So this angle has to be, there it is, 50 degrees. Okay, I multiplied this top equation by negative 5, so that way the y's would cancel out, because I end up with a positive 10. So 7 times negative 5, negative 2 times negative 5, and 130 times negative 5. Add them together, divide, and I get my two answers. So there's just some angle relationships. So you're going to do 5 to 20. So there's our assignment. Best of luck, and we'll see you on Tuesday.